We live in a world that can break you down. We're all fighting battles the world can't see. But what if healing wasn't about pretending to be perfect? Healing starts the moment you stop pretending you're fine. Welcome to Help the People. Help the People is more than a podcast. It's a movement. A space for truth, for healing, for conversations that rebuild what life tried to destroy. Because kindness knows no enemy.
Welcome back to Help the People. I'm your host, Shannon Riley. I want to ask you something. Not to make you uncomfortable, not in an effort to relieve your pain. I want to ask you because because I think we've been maybe keeping score wrong. When you think about your life, what is the first thing that comes to mind? And for me, as I was reflecting this weekend, it was the mistakes, the relationships that didn't last, the divorce, the addiction, the job loss, some of the opportunities that I feel have maybe slipped through my fingers. I noticed something about myself. I have an incredible memory of my failures and an incredibly short memory of everything I survived. And maybe this is similar for you. So today I want to do something, and I would love for you to do it with me. Close your eyes just for a moment. Take a breath. Now imagine you're holding a piece of paper, and at the top, write these words: my survival checklist. Now start writing. Not what you lost, what you survived. Maybe your list begins with, I survived the childhood where I didn't always feel safe. Maybe it says, I survived addiction. I survived abuse. I survived being told I wasn't enough. I survived racism. I survived losing loved ones. I survived losing someone I loved. Maybe it's I survived depression. I survived cancer. I survived anxiety. I survived loneliness. I survived someone I didn't recognize anymore. I survived myself. Take your time, create a list, because I think something incredible happens when you stop counting the failures and you start counting our resilience. I'll tell you what I've learned. The universe has a strange way of making us believe our scars disqualify us when they're actually our credentials. Not because suffering is beautiful, it isn't. Not because trauma makes us special, doesn't. Because surviving changes the way we see people. If we let it, if you lived enough life now to know something, you know this: people don't connect with perfection, they connect with honesty. Nobody's life has ever changed because someone pretended to have it all together. Lives change when someone says, "Me too, I've been there. I know what it feels like to think you weren't going to make it." That's why I believe your story matters. Not because it's dramatic, it's not even unique, sadly, but because it's yours. And somewhere, someone is carrying a burden they think no one else will understand. They're waiting for proof that survival is possible. And your story may be that proof. I don't think stories are just for memories. I think stories are medicine. Every scar you've earned, every tear you cried, every mountain you climbed, every addiction you overcome, every heartbreak that you survived, every time you started over, that's medicine. Not if you keep it locked inside, though. Only if you're willing to share. I think one of the greatest tragedies is that so many people died with libraries still inside of them. Stories never told. Wisdom never shared. Pain that could have become purpose buried in silence. Don't let that be you. Tell your story. Not because you're looking for sympathy. Tell it because someone else is trying to survive their own chapter, and they need to know that maybe this isn't the end of the book. Before I leave you today, I want to ask something of you. I don't want you to be the only voice on this podcast anymore. I want to hear yours. I want to hear about the nights you didn't think you'd make it, the diagnosis, the addiction, the prison sentence, the loss, the grief, the childhood, the divorce, the anxiety, the moment everything changed. And I want to hear what helped you keep going. Because I believe we're surrounded by ordinary people carrying extraordinary stories. Stories that don't belong in the shadows. Stories that deserve to breathe. Stories that can save lives. Maybe yours saves one. Maybe it saves 100. Maybe it saves you. So here's my challenge tonight. Sit down with a pen, write your survival checklist, read it out loud. Then ask yourself, if I survived all this, why have I been calling myself weak? Maybe, just maybe, you've been a hero all along. You just never stopped long enough to read your own story. Remember, walk into every room like God sent you. Tell your story. Listen to someone else's, because that's how people heal. And as always, remember, help the people, and kindness knows no enemy. Thank you for listening.
Dear God, forgive me for remembering every failure while forgetting every mountain you helped me climb. Remind me that survival is not ordinary. Help me honor the child who endured, the adult who kept going, and the person I'm still becoming. Give me courage to tell my story, not for attention, but because someone else may find hope in hearing it. Teach me to measure my life, not only by what I lost, but by what your grace